Okay, let's talk about title. About this property I just bought at the auction. Let's go over title and see. I'm going to show you exactly how I do my title search and what you need to look for when you do title search before you buy a property at the auction. Now I didn't have enough time to show it to you, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do another search right now. That's the bid. That's the price that I bought. That's the full judgment. That's what is owed to the mortgage. There are other mortgages that this first mortgage is naming, so I'm going to show you exactly in the title search how it looks like. So, and this is the bid the plaintiff came today. It's 190, which is the total debt owed to him. Since the judgment was 185, I guess 180 is with some fees, additional fees that the lender had, and that's why they came up with a 190 judgment. We're going to talk about the value of the property, and we're going to talk about title search. But before we get into value, I always emphasize on doing title searches before anything else. You know, that's the key to success in this game, and that's the most dangerous pitfall as well. So you got to be very, very careful, and you got to know exactly what you're buying when you are at the auction. A lot of parties can come to the auction and foreclose. Some of them can be lenders, some of them can be HOAs. You can see mechanical liens that are foreclosing sometimes. The second mortgage can foreclose. Several parties can foreclose on a property, and when you purchase at the auction, you gotta make sure you are buying the right position. Meaning that if you are buying a property, a mortgage foreclosure, you gotta make sure that you're buying the first lien position. And that's what I'm going to have to check right now, that I bought the first lien position at this auction, and that I have the biggest strength in terms of my priority. And I'm going to go to the property appraisal, and I'm going to see that the property was bought in 2005, and that's where I'm going to start my search. I'm going to see warranty deed here. That's very easy information to get. That's the property appraisal. And the way it works in public records, if you just click on it, you're going to see the parties that the property was conveyed to and from. So it was conveyed from those people to Mr. Carlos, I guess. And that's the party I'm going to search since 2005, April 2005. That's when I'm going to search my public record against this name, and I'm going to see what documents are recorded. So if I go to the public records, I do my search like that, and I'm searching 2005. So this is what I'm gonna get basically, and I'm arranging it from 2005 to 2009. So as you can see, this is the deed which was recorded in April 27th of 2005, and when we went over here, that was more or less the same date. So that's where the property was actually recorded. It was closed a couple of days earlier, but it took them 2 days or 3 days to record it, and it was recorded here. And you can see that's the first mortgage here, which is if I get inside here, that's the mortgage that has the first priority. And my job would be to understand who is foreclosing and what mortgage did I buy. Okay, and how do I do that? I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. Basically, there is a case number here, right? This is the case number that I bought, 1611967, and that's where I'm going to find all the information inside the complaint of that case number, and that's going to tell me a lot of information. We're going to get into that, but the first notice of foreclosure is lease pendants, so I'm going to look for the lease pendants right now that was filed, and I can see it was filed here, and that's the notice. And you can see that Deutsche Bank is the bank that is foreclosing, and you can see all the parties that are being foreclosed here, including Bank of New York, and also Morgan Chase Bank, and also another home equity loan. So there are a couple of loans on this property, and the plaintiff here name those parties, and I want to have to make sure that I bought the first lien position, meaning I bought the mortgage after the deed And that's when I'm going to make sure that right now that this mortgage is still outstanding, and that's the one that is foreclosing. So I'm going to go to the docket, and that's a very easy thing to do in Broward County, Florida. You just put a case number. In other counties, you might need to get more permission, but or go to the court. But again, if it's out to get information, it's out for other people as well, and that gives you an advantage. And that's the advantage I've had when I started doing auction in 2009. A lot of information was not available. So, okay, so the plaintiff here is foreclosing. You can see the other parties that we saw at the list pendants here. Now we saw, up. I already closed that document. So we saw the list pendants, we saw those parties that were named. And basically, I'm gonna take you to the complaint. And this is the complaint that was filed. And over here, I'm gonna be able to understand exactly which mortgage is foreclosing today and see if the title that I bought at the auction is good or not. Okay, so now I'm inside the complaint of that foreclosure, basically. It gives me so much information. So it tells me this. It tells me the action to foreclose a mortgage. Here it is. And that's the mortgage that foreclosing against. Book number 39519, page 1140. And they are asserting that they are the owner of the note. And they are asserting that the money was owed was 139, default date was in 2016. And that's how it's accumulated slowly but slowly to 190. And I tell a lot of people that are in pre-foreclosures, you're not really doing the right thing sometimes when you just keep the property because the lender is accumulating more money against you. So it's eventually they're gonna eat all your equity if you have equity in your home. And right now what I'm seeing is, I'm seeing that 39519, page 1140 is the one is foreclosing. And what I need to go right now is I need to go back to the search and I need to see that 395191140 is foreclosing. See? It's basically the same number, 39519. 1140. So that's the mortgage is foreclosing. And underneath here, you're gonna see there is another mortgage for $28,000. Okay, let's click at the doc extension, and that was released in 2006. So I'm not taking that into account here. There is another mortgage here for $100,000. You can see the name both parties, the husband and the wife. The way to verify the information, you can always see the address on the mortgage. As you can see, it referenced 43 Southwest 4th Street, Dania, and that's exactly what I bought. So I know it's a mortgage against this property, against these people. Okay, and right now, I'm gonna also show you who are the other mortgages or liens that the lender foreclosed them out, basically eliminate the interest. They might be able to claim some money from this sale because I bought it for $307, judgment was $190. The rest of the money are gonna go to the second lien position. Okay, second lien position has the right to claim for that money. If they don't claim for that money, then the next priority lien has the right to claim that money, and so on. If nobody claims that money, that's gonna go back to the homeowner, even though it was underwater. You know, that are the laws. The lender has about 60 days to claim the money. Otherwise, they are out. So that's one of the foreclosure laws that not a lot of people know about, especially when they chase for surpluses, case surpluses. That's a different niche. So right now, I'm looking at the complaint, and the lender actually did my title search, and I see the other mortgages that are also named. You see Bank of New York, so 1358 was named as well, which is the $100,000 was eliminated. They're actually the second lien position, and they can claim for the surplus, for the extra proceeds from that sale. And they might be doing it, and might be able to show it in the docket later on when that happens. And so that was named. There is another mortgage over here, a small business that they took, United States small business administration. And that tells me that the mortgage was 1297. I can see the book number and page number. So that gives me an idea here to actually identify which parties they eliminated. And as you can see, 1297 was also named here. Okay, they had a claim, but the bank here, Deutsche Bank, is eliminating everybody's claim in these foreclosures. Basically, the third lien position here, the 3 mortgages, it's a very unique case and it's a good case study. So over here, if they're not going to file a motion for the extra money, then United States of America are going to file that motion. And that's how it works, priority of liens, basically. Third lien position, and then they name the other parties. So basically, since I bought this, and you can see here that they assert that they own the note, and you can see the original note, and the original, that was the first mortgage, eliminating everybody else in that foreclosure. And I came and I bought this property, and that's the most important thing right now for me, is to make sure I am not risking my principal, my capital, my investment right now. If I would be buying a second mortgage or anything like that, it would be a disaster, a complete disaster, and all of my other formula and comps and strategy will fall apart. So, and I see a lot of people are losing money at the auction, and this is a really good exercise for people who don't see the small details sometimes and need access to extra information. Okay, so I bought this property, and I looked at the complaint, and I saw that the lender is actually foreclosing on that second mortgage. This is the party that is foreclosing. Basically, you saw actually the same mortgage. You saw it in the complaint. You're gonna see this here as well, and just gonna load for a second, and you're gonna see the same mortgage here that was filed in 2005, right? See, 427 2005. It says same thing here, March 31st. So that's when they actually executed that deal. They sent out the document to recording, and the document got recorded on the 27th of April. That's exactly how it happened. Well, basically, you can see here that mortgage, it's the same mortgage that the bank is foreclosing here. Over here, it tells you the story, it tells you how much is owed, it tells you what other liens exist on the property, who has an interest, or who has a priority. You can find the attorney information, the note, and everything else. So this is how you do a title search when you buy a mortgage foreclosure, and you make sure that the bank is foreclosing. You want to make sure you're buying the right position in a mortgage foreclosure at the auction. If you like this video and you want to learn more about investing in real estate, more about finding off-market properties, and more about finding off-market properties with equity, please be sure to subscribe. Otherwise, you can also go to my website, lirankoren.com, when I'm offering my free 1-hour master course. If you have any questions, comments, or you want me to make a video on something, please let me know. I'll do my best to get back to you. And in the meantime, happy investing, everybody.